It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 219. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, Heavensturn begins on December 31st. New optional items are available. We have New Year's greetings. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, episode EP3, available now. Ishgardian Restoration Skybuilder rankings have begun, and some patch 5.41 notes. But first, let's shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby.
What's up, Yelta?
Oh, not a lot, man. Not a lot. It's a new year.
We made it.
We survived.
I was going to say, we did it. We got to 2021, or 2020 Part 2, depending on how you're looking at things.
New Game Plus. 2020 New Game Plus. Challenge mode.
Would you like to unlock hard mode? Here
Savage. Here you go.
But things are good. I'm pretty happy. We survived the holidays and we survived New Year's, and here we are. So we took an extra week off. And of course, 2021 has started off a very busy year, but all things aside, things are great. Things are moving along at a good pace. And we had Heavensturn come about. We finished up, all the Starlight magic, and we're here at Heavensturn, and so that's really all I've had time to do is Heavensturn. I logged in and knocked that out, and it was cute. It was different, it was pounding mochi plus. There was the added element, the fight element, and somebody had told me in advance, go as blue. And I didn't listen. I forgot, and then I'm out there on my white mage because I like my glamour on this certain job, and I'm like, oh god, now I have to just throw arrows and stones, and just this sucks. But we got it. It was fine. And I don't even remember the story all that much, other than I felt like I was being tricked into thinking it was going to tie in with like some nefarious something behind the scenes that was making things bad for them. Because the one NPC had said like, yeah, we had that problem last year, and it's like, we don't really know why we have issues. And I guess I secretly want the cat dude to return from, I guess, what was that, the year of the dog? Whenever the cat guy showed up, and he was like really...
I had forgotten all about that.
He was like trying to cause mayhem. I miss that. I liked it when there was like a nemesis, even though it was like a silly nemesis. I guess that's why I like the Halloween one.
There's usually something nefarious behind the scenes.
Right, the Continental Express is trying to do something, but they screw it up every time, and then it ends up being cute. So I kind of like the idea of like this 13th Zodiac or what have you, trying to cause havoc, and anyway, it didn't really turn into that, or if it was there, I missed it. But otherwise, it's good. It's buying helmets. I kind of like that you didn't have to work too hard to get everything. But it spooked me just a tad when I could only pick one helmet. I had to walk over to the NPC to get the other one. And then you got some cutscenes, some pirates that were in love. I was impressed to see the Admiral. I did enjoy seeing the Admiral step out and have a little talk. So it's always a pleasure to see the Admiral, especially coming right off of 5.4, which is pretty Admiral heavy. So maybe tying that together, maybe just keeping us on the Admiral train. I don't know, but I love her. She's great. And that was Heavensturn. I don't know if I missed or forgot anything, but it was pretty short in my opinion. And I'm not always the biggest Heavensturn fan. It's just a goofy looking helmet. It's hard to put a glamour together for most of them, except for like the horse head. So I don't know. It's just a thing. But if that's what you're into and you like all the little tabletop decorations and those kind of things, then it's an okay time of the year.
It's all right, and it's, they just had the Starlight, so this is right on its heels. So I don't really expect too much for Heavensturn. Now, it'd be fun if once in a while they'll throw us a little bit more or something, but, they try to mix it up. It's always pounding mochi, and it's out, whatever. But, this time we did have to fight some stuff and talk to some NPCs for a little bit of story. I know some people are like, I don't know those NPCs, I don't care. If I hadn't probably just have done some other quests, I might have forgotten even who a couple of them were, and then, because it's, when was the last time you did a quest chain in Limsa with, what's her name?
Right.
Yeah, right?
I think those two were the most obscure. The two pirates that were, one secretly had a crush on the other one. Those were the more obscure pirate ones. I think maybe if they had tied them in a little bit in 5.4, like all the pirate legions came together and they had a shout out, like their name in a box or something. Or maybe there was, maybe they were somebody to talk to and I missed it. You
didn't do the last post Ishgard restoration quests, did you? There was going to Limsa and pirate chatting going on.
Okay, so if you do related content, I guess you get a little more perspective.
Might have caught more.
Right. Well, like I said, for the Admiral, coming out of 5.4, it was very, hey, there's the Admiral. It makes sense. And then I liked seeing the Kieran guy from the Year of the Rat. That I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So that was Heavensturn. That's basically all I've done in Final Fantasy XIV. A Realm Reborn, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Heavensturn. And I don't know. I don't know what else. Other games that I've played. Animal Crossing, I'm still on that. I make snowmen every day, but I think I've gotten all the recipes, so I think I'm snowmaned out. And I don't really know what else. I probably ought to click on Epic Game Store before we finish up tonight, because I think Star Wars is
Battlefront is still up right now, I think, is it?
Yeah, gotta snag that Battlefront. So we'll play that, because I've been playing Darkest Dungeon quite a bit. I'm enjoying Darkest Dungeon. I am not looking at guides, which is probably what's taking me so long to get through anything on this game, but I'm starting to figure out the synergy between the jobs, and I'm starting to figure out how to get those good recruits off the train and stop thinking about getting people from level 1 all the way up and just think about them as just they're meat bags. And I just need the highest level meat bag possible.
I don't know if I've ever played that game. What kind of game is it?
It is an RPG. Okay. It is, it's funny. I guess it's kind of D&D-ish in the sense that it's side scrolling, but there's encounters. And so, then the attacks are based on die rolls, but you don't see them, but it tells you in, so many turns what your heal is going to be or could be, or what your damage could be, your range. And so it's turn based, based on your speed score or whatever else, and you're trying to make it through a dungeon, and there are objectives. Sometimes it's explore 90% of the room. Sometimes it's destroy 100% of room battles. Sometimes it's light 3 fires in a thing. Sometimes there's a boss battle. But the thing is, things turn against you really fast. There's debuffs. There's all that. There's everything in it.
There's a lot going on, huh? It's come up on my you might like this, I think, on
You might like it. You might like it. I thought the art would bother me at first. Mm-hmm. It's kind of grim, and then it's got almost like this paper doll sort of look, the way their range of motion and animations are. But I got over that real quick when I started delving into. It's not min-maxing so much, because you just kind of pump them up by. You spend some gold and you can unlock the 3rd tier of weapons, and the 3rd tier of armor, and those kind of things.
Okay.
But then there are artifacts. You want them to hold. You can hold 2 artifacts. You want them to hold the right combination of things. There's some fun in it. I think you would enjoy it.
Like I need more games.
You need more games. I know. So that's really what I've been doing. Yelta, what have you been up to?
In 14, I also did Heavensturn. I don't remember now. I've done some weekly stuff. Usually a call goes out in the Free Company's Discord. Anybody want to run Eden normal tonight? And I tag along for that, get into voice chat, and just, have a goofy, fun time It's kind of funny too, because we were like last night, we were 7 out of 8. So that 4th person or 8th person always just got all the comms. It was just kind of funny. So it makes me laugh. But, everybody gets their drops or doesn't. I think half of them in there didn't even need any more drops. I'm just trying to get just casually getting gear for caster. So I just don't want to get too far behind the curve of gear. If I do have a burst of wanting to play desperately again, I don't want to be like, oh, well, I can't do anything. And then someone scheduled a farm party for Seed of Sacrifice on Saturday. I went to that, and we farmed for a while. We had to remember the fight. It's been a minute since a bunch of us have been in there, and there's a lot of mechanics, a lot of different phases and stuff. So I don't hate that fight. I just have not. I think I burned myself out farming Ruby. And in the end, I had more than I could have bought the mount twice. And ended up buying the mount with tokens. That's the first time I ever had to buy a mount with tokens. So I think I just kind of burned myself out. But I should go back and get into Seed of Sacrifice. And I've only cleared Emerald a couple times, or a few times. And I don't think I knew what the hell I was doing. So I'll get the itch again to go in and get those done. But we did do Seed of Sacrifice for, 2 or 3 hours. I don't think we ever saw a mount. I don't know. That's about it. I haven't even bothered to cap tomes. I haven't been raiding. So if I'm not raiding, I have a hard time staying, engaged to bother, I guess. Right.
Yeah, I've seen that discussion come up on Twitter recently between, friends or those that I know are professionals and are in their late 30s or early 40s or, have some goals that they're trying to achieve right now. And I've seen a couple people lament that, they haven't been able to play or they've logged in and logged right back out, just tagged that house, which is really Yoshida's thing, you don't have to log back in. Well, if you want to keep your house, you do. So, you better tag it, every so often, keep it from going on the market. But otherwise, I've seen a few people talking, chatting, typing out that they've had, some issues. It's not motivational. I think it's just other things. It may be a new year and people have things that are going on. And that's, again, we've said it 1,000 times. The beauty of 14 is you can get on and off the ride. However, if you get off the ride for too long, it may take you a little harder to get caught back up, depending on what even odd number patch you may be getting into. But if you skip too much more, we'll be getting to expansion season, and it won't be terribly long before we're getting some news about that expansion.
Yeah,
I think month.
I hope so.
Here, a month and a half, if even. No.
Yeah, we have to go back and review those dates. They did give us some days for when things were going to be held, right? They're going to have like a
February. Yeah, it's February for sure.
February, some sort of online thing. It's been a while since I even thought about it, but I was thinking about the expansion today and how it's usually we would know by now, right? Historically, we would know what the expansion is and when it's coming out because we would have had FanFest already. So maybe that's also part of my I don't know.
Yeah, correct. We would have known that. We would have probably at the North American one in November would have gotten all of that information, and we'd all been happy campers because we would have gotten our limited healer job, Chemist. And so everybody would be...
See, we gave you a healer, and we're like, fuck you, dude. Oh, my God.
President of Square Enix comes out dressed as a chemist. Like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Good times. So
Good times.
February. There may be an actual hard date here. I'll keep digging if there's a hard date that
we'll remind you before it happens.
Yeah,
unless it's
absolutely.
Next week.
Unless we take 4 weeks off and then we completely miss it.
All right. Well, that's about my week. I do want to get in and at least do some of the... I'm not worried about ranking in Ishgardian Restoration, but I want to get in and farm up stuff to get the mounts and minions and whatever other stuff I might want.
February 5th.
February 5th. Excellent. All right. You can shoot the shit with us on our website, www.gtffxiv.com. Let us know what you've been up to. The first round is news, and we already talked about it a little bit, but the first news piece is Heavensturn is here. We both completed it, and it's over probably by the time you hear this, the 18th.
Right.
So there were just a couple of prizes, nothing too terribly exciting. As per earlier years, you get 2 Kabutos and a little tabletop item. I had to double check if I must have gotten one of those.
I didn't even know what they were when I bought it. When you do
little dealy bobby thing.
The one fate, I think it gives you 10 of those totems or something.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you enough to buy the second hat, the second Kabuto, and enough for you to buy this Akabeko.
I think it even gave me enough to, unless I did it twice, I think it even gave me enough to buy, I bought like some fireworks or something.
Right, like you might still have enough to buy one of each of the other things, and then you're done with it. So they mapped it out for you. They mathed it out for you. But I'm not even sure if I put this on the table in my house after I bought it.
I didn't even yet. And then we have new optional items available. They're just, I think they're just last year's Heavensturn thing, Year of the Rat. Some cute little Nezumi Kabutos and a authentic Heavensturn bounty, which is a little tabletop item. It's kind of cute. Little ratty on there. Oh, it's huge. I don't even know if I ever said. I buy all this stuff and I put them on a retainer. I don't always even do anything.
Oh yeah, it's almost Lala-sized.
It is almost Lala-sized.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, again, it's like, what are you going to fashion these helmets with?
Yeah. Well, they didn't go. Well, most of the helmets they didn't go subtle, right? It's a bull's head.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's like
they didn't do like a subtle look with any of these.
Yeah, no, it's out there.
Okay, then we have New Year's greetings. It's long. Yoshi P wishes us all a happy new year, and 2020 is a year that won't be forgotten. And they talk about the dreaded COVID. And they've, had decided to keep us happy and entertained during this pandemic. And they spent a lot of time getting stuff working so they could all work from home. So let's see. So where do we stand? The saga of Shadowbringers concluded in patch 5.3 and hinted at the next story to come. But of course we had patch 5.4, which flipped the page on the final chapter in the Tale of the Star. Keep a close eye on the team's progress this year as events build once more to a thrilling and unexpected ending. To the story, not to Final Fantasy itself. I'd barely finished typing this when I had an unannounced visitor, a minstrel. As he introduced himself in a journey from faraway lands, he placed a note in my hands and had a poem written on it. This is our yearly cryptic poem. What does it say? Our prodigy may never know, wherefore we look into the sky, nor why we dig for truths below. We bear their scorn on, or watch them die. I need bifocals, fam. Okay.
Something about the future, not knowing why we're looking up or why we're digging down. So are we going to the center of the earth? Are we going to the moon? Are we going to the 13th? What does it all mean?
What does it all mean? Oh boy. And then he says, "Who is this resolute man?" Because this is from the Journal of a Resolute Man, is what it's called. Who is this resolute man? What about the prodigy scorning? A turn to put the questions to the traveler, but he was gone. So let's see. We can make a few guesses. The upcoming Final Fantasy announcement showcase planned for February might help make sense of it. And they're entering their 11th year now of operation since the original release of Final Fantasy XIV. And running an MMORPG is difficult. And they thank the Warriors of Light and our enthusiasm for reaching this amazing milestone. And then it talks again about some more about, COVID's here, and there was a lot of words of encouragement to them. Like, no matter how tough things get, I can always see my friends in Final Fantasy XIV. It gives me strength to face the next day. Please keep it up. We need this. So, and he says that you work under enormous stress, but despite all the sacrifices you make, Some people still treat you with disrespect, and it's unforgivable. Sometimes you might wonder why you work so hard when you encounter those who clearly don't appreciate it, but you can't carry the world on your shoulders. Our earnest comments may not affect you as keenly as one pointed and thoughtless remark, but know that you always have our gratitude and support. Allow me to offer you that at the very least. We'll keep doing all we can, and I hope our efforts give you a reason to smile in these difficult times.
Oh, well, that's kind words.
And there's more to it, but it's really long.
Yeah. Well, those are very kind words from Yoshida to turn it around. Like, many of us think how hard they must be working, what stress they must be under to do what they do with a pandemic. I know they finally got the equipment where they can, work from home and do what they need to do, but it's probably pretty rocky back in March and April. So what things they've had to overcome to continue to bring us fantastic content. And for Yoshida to turn it around and say, no, thank you, the player, for what you do, because it keeps us going. So thank you, Yoshida, for thanking us.
Thank you for thanking us. It is good, though, if, we have something to keep us entertained. And I remember when the whole lockdown stuff started, and we were all like, haha, perfect time, Animal Crossing just came out. Having something to entertain and take your mind off of things is important. And, and people who make video games, they have the same problems we do, and on top of which, they are trying to keep us entertained and keep us subscribed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting thought. All right, we have a new Shadowbringers. What do we got? We have 5 tracks. Don't Be Afraid promises to keep the extreme freshly glazed Porksy and the Black Wolf stalks again. There
it is, folks.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got it. I listened to it. Well, I downloaded it and listened to it. It's pretty good. I mean, it's your Final Fantasy VIII tracks at the beginning. Well, minus, the Eden track, which is new, promises to keep. And then Freshly Glazed Porksy. That's an interesting track, just because it sounds like it's ripped out of Halloween. It
does. I've just clicked on it.
Yeah, that's it's the dungeon. But it's like Halloween Town. Is what it sounds like. And I guess Matoya, is a witch. But I don't necessarily think of Halloween with Matoya. Just more like crystal balls and dwarfs and that kind of thing. So brooms. So yeah, that's an interesting track. I know that there are tracks that are different, kind of like what is that, like Ink Long Dry or whatever, the jazzy ones in the libraries and things like that. But this is one that throws me off. Normally those don't throw me off. This one throws me off because I'm like, this is just because it's just very it's very Halloweeny. I can't get Halloween out of my head. And then you've got Emerald here, Black Wolf stalks again. So
yeah, I love that song. I quite like that one.
That one starts off interesting. It doesn't really start off like just let's go. It's got this kind of gritty. I don't even know what to call it. It's different, but it's good.
Yeah, I really like it. Oh, it's a 7-minute song. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's long. I guess it's got just all the ramp up and everything in that version.
All right, and we have Ishgardian Restoration Skybuilder rankings begin. That started on, was it Tuesday?
Uh-huh.
And it runs till the 21st. And that's the ranking period. So go in there, and I know a lot of people in the free company are like, anybody want to do whatever, and they're like, can't, trying to get ranked up.
Yeah. I really, really wanted to do this months ago until my wrist was on fire from doing repetitive motion. And so it's not really where I need to be right now. I do wish those well that are doing good. I do recall we had quite a few members of our free company on
We were represented last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good luck, folks. I hope you get your titles.
We have one at 25th place right now.
That's great.
Yeah, one of ours. That's Carpenter.
Me likey.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Yeah. So, yeah, go and it's all new items. It's exactly the same as last time, I think, right?
Right.
It's just there's new items to gather, stuff to craft, and turn it in.
And I guess, the other thing would be finding out who's going to be the statue. What job.
Which job, yeah. All right, and then we also have the patch notes for 5.41. It's pretty much just, the Ishgardian restoration stuff. After they've completed the reconstruction works phases, we're going to get a few more quests. And then some more Ishgardian restoration side quests. I did those last time. They're cute. They tell you, how this is changing people's lives and that kind of thing. Because, how many years ago ended the Dragonsong War,
yeah.
So,
It did always sort of not make sense to continually see burning piles of wood, It just doesn't feel right.
They've added new furnishings. I'm assuming that's what's in this picture. There's a lot of carbuncle action going on.
Oh, I love carbuncle action.
Looks like we get a sweep emote. And then Edenverse, the Echo in Edenverse Savage is going to get a 10% Echo buff. This is all the same as every other time.
Right.
New items have been added. That looks like 2 cute outfits, very summery looking.
Well, okay, let's stop right there, because you're saying 2 cute outfits, and I have heard people saying, yes, these are absolutely cute outfits, we've been asking for these, but I saw people saying these are not cute at all. These are terrible.
I think they're atrocious. But...
The satchel over the shoulder. Okay, well, that's...
No. I personally think they're atrocious.
Okay, well, good to know that what your opinion was on that one. I thought, okay, well, I guess it was a consensus.
The
everybody
sneakers,
thought.
I hate them. And the sneakers look modern. I hate that. I mean, we could write a list about the things I hate. But
now, there was I saw bandwagoners also saying, and I can't believe they're selling this shit. Well, it is not. You get this out of Ishgardian Restoration, is that right? That was my understanding.
I don't know. They're probably new. They're probably come out of the Kupo scratch off cards. The last outfits came out of there, but I don't know for sure.
All right.
And they haven't told us what they're going to be. We wouldn't have probably gotten new crafted ones.
Right.
Yeah. No, I actually don't like these. They look weird and modern on top of having a weird fanny pack over your shoulder.
Yeah, why fanny pack over the shoulder? I don't get that.
And the modern sneakers piss me off.
Y'all could have done the fanny pack on the fanny.
or do a true messenger bag or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I like bags and packs, and some of the other games I play, hell, on Toontown I wear a backpack that looks realistic to me, full of gags. Other games I play, I love to wear a backpack that looks like I would actually be carrying around my stuff, but not this weird.
Here's my problem: every time Square Enix or Final Fantasy tries to do some kind of modern Final Fantasy look on a character, it always is some weird baggy, belt looped. It just always looks weird to me. Like Tidus looks
hovering
fucked.
On the shoulders. Yeah.
Tidus's outfit looks fucked. 10 is an amazing game. Tidus's outfit is the most fucked. Burn 13 to the ground. There's some fashion in 12 that's actually pretty rough, but for the most part 12's okay because it's more high fantasy. 15, I think they really just tried to keep it like the year 2016 or something in that, so it's not crazy over the top. But then if you even get into Kingdom Hearts or The Bouncer or something there, it looks like the 90s threw up or something weird happened. I don't know. It just they just look weird. This one is not for me.
Yeah. I wondered if it might be cute on a Lalafell, but I'm I don't like it. It's not attractive to me at all, and it just doesn't look Final Fantasy 14 to me either. But that's just my opinion.
I wonder if the high tops are worth getting though. Maybe. Okay.
All right, they also added new recipes. The items and recipes they're going to add in the patch at a later date to the patch notes. The recipes are probably all just the Ishgard restoration crafting stuffs. Oh, they renamed some Edenmate, Edenmorn Sabatons to thigh boots. Because they're visually thigh boots, not Sabatons.
Interesting.
Yes. And then Ishgard restoration, the fourth phase of the Ishgardian restoration has begun. And what? Players can no longer collect stamps for the Kupo of Fortune? What?
From the previous chapter.
Oh, okay. Is that from the previous one?
Right.
Okay. I did not read. I read everything but the red stuff. You know, the important red stuff.
Don't read the highlighted part.
Don't read the highlighted parts. Told your mama needs new glasses. Yeah. And that's why, okay, so I read these notes earlier, and I was like, I don't understand. But it's because of the materials from the previous chapter. You're not going to get as many points. Because you can't have, like, you can't have just farmed the fuck out of the earlier one and turn it in now and hope to reap the rewards.
And that's a beautiful thing. They did that right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, somebody could easily just no-lifed and you know, gathered shit for the weeks between the...
botted. No life, botted.
No. Yeah, no, it's good. It seems a little weird. You go in there and you're like, I'm, farming blah, 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 grade 3s and 4s or whatever. And it's like, why don't they just replace the items or use the same items? Well, there's reasons.
Yeah.
All right. New conditions have been added for expert recipes. I haven't checked these out yet. These conditions may appear when using crafted recipes for grade 4 Skybuilder supplies. There's an action called Malleable. And it increases to progress are 1.5 times higher than normal. And an action named Primed, which is next status granted by an action will last 2 additional steps. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. I do kind of like that they're still kind of playing with crafting, still trying to make it a little interesting. Potential conditions for expert recipes can now be confirmed via the crafting log. So with an expert recipe selected in the crafting log, select potential conditions list from the subcommand menu. And I've got a screenshot here of what that means.
I like this. I like the minigame action that they're doing with this. And I like it for the reason that it's for these special expert crafts. It's another level of minigame. If you want to do the crafting minigame, I think this is that level of expert difficulty that Yoshida has been talking about. And they're continuing to build upon that, where it's a fun game that you can, do some different stuff within crafting for this little thing. I don't think this affects every single craft that's out there. That's just these expert crafts, but expert recipes. But that's really neat for the crafters to be able to play with that and to have those nuances in there.
Well, and that the information's also right here in the game. Yeah. I don't have to go to a third-party site. I don't have to run some illegal third-party software to make it display it for me. I can just a little bit of transparency isn't bad on some of this stuff. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the diadem. They have added new gathering items, new gathering points. New items that are gathered for the 4th phase can be submitted to for inspection. It's the same dude. Following the addition of items for the 4th phase of the Ishgardian restoration, the following adjustments have been made to the inspections of items from the previous chapter. You can't get Skybuilder scripts. The number of Skybuilder scripts received has been reduced. Skyward points received will no longer contribute to rankings. So same thing they did for the crafting turn-in ones. You couldn't just have a huge backlog of stacks and stacks and turn them in. Additions and adjustments have been made to the rewards from the Kupo of Fortune. New Skybuilder script items are available from any in the firmament, and the rankings phase has begun. And what we were talking about earlier, the Skybuilder's Monument commemorating the crafting class with the greatest contributions to the Restoration Initiative has been added. So every world will have it tallied, and that's what the statue will be. That's kind of a cute idea.
Yeah, I think that is a cute idea. It's not world breaking. It's not memorializing one player. It's neat.
New mounts have been added. I've wanted this since I ever saw those guys crawling around upper Lanicea, I think. Outer, upper, whatever it was. They look a lot like... What are the little crab guys? What are they called? Are they just crabs?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I thought there was a different name for them. But my brain shut off. I saw somebody on it last night when I logged in. He was running around our market board by our house.
I mean, like, I guess Bubbly Bernie or something,
Yeah, he's like that kind of... It's a real similar model to the ones in Final Fantasy XI.
Right, exactly.
Right. You go to the dunes and you kill crabs forever. And the new minion. This is a tiny, little, adorable Triceratops. I might need her. And another umbrella fashion accessory is pictured. They've added achievements. They've added new text commands. They've added eat rice ball, eat apple, and sweep. So I don't know. There must be 3 new emotes.
I like the eat one. I like the bread emote. I always like that
I like the eat bread. It's cute.
Yeah, it's super cute. So I'm a big fan of these eat ones.
And they're simple. They're simple commands, and they're kind of gone as soon as you notice, how much different does eat rice ball and eat apple probably look. Doesn't matter. It's just a small thing.
And NPCs are already doing them. It's not like, they're not allocating resources.
Oh, they did fix one in the resolved issues section. They did fix something that I thought was funny. When completing the raid dungeons, Eden's Promise, Eternity, and Eternity Savage, you apparently couldn't get the Eden's Promise card. You couldn't actually get the card to drop. I don't have that card.
I don't think I have that.
And none of these are really very interesting. Let's see. Oh, the illustration of certain group post stickers was incorrect. The heavy hitters there at the bottom.
Yeah, I see that one. I was concerned.
All in all, pretty. I mean, it's a 5.41 patch, so we're not expecting, huge things, but it should keep people busy for a couple more weeks. All right. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even look at Developer's Blog or Tracker. I'm assuming you did.
Well, I did look at the Developer's Blog. The most recent one was back in December.
Like forever.
Yeah, and it was
okay.
They do have a third part of that series. I don't know if we covered that the last time or if it wasn't out yet, but they're continuing on with the series of blog posts that showcase different people who are working behind the scenes, and they do have,
like developers and
that's right, yeah, and so they do have the third part of that series.
The promotional team one is up.
Correct. Backstage investigators, Takachi. So check that out if you are interested in seeing what is happening behind the scenes and how they. I see some old lodestone there. You see that old lodestone picture of that blog?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not new. Not current.
Oh yeah. The old stuff. So we used to have some fun. We used to have some fun back in the day. I don't know if you remember, like Fantagy. There was a message board that we used to go. And this is the 1.0 days for those that remember that. And we could share pictures, and everybody was on this one message board. And I used to get so mad because there was somebody who had, I guess, a mod was like editing people's posts, and I made a big stink about it. And then after 1.0 was gone, a lot of these things went away. A lot of the fan made stuff went.
Yeah, it got disappeared.
It did. It started drying up, and at the very beginning. And not that Square Enix and the Final Fantasy team don't have a good relationship with content creators. They do. But in the very beginning, there was a lot of outfits that I think they were the content creators or the reps were doing a really good job of trying to connect with content creators. Like anybody who loved Final Fantasy whatsoever, Final Fantasy 14, like please, let's connect, let's stay together, because those were bad days. Those were rough days.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I remember even when we were part of another podcast, we even got like the early release, don't tell anyone, hush hush info, and they would like reach out to pretty much anybody who had a regular show or article or whatever. There was some PMing and Twitter and everything even.
Yeah, those were the days.
They don't remember who I am anymore, but that's okay.
They've all turned over quite a few times as well. So
that also.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's all right. It's been 11 years. Got to remember that. 11 years.
It's strange how long it's been that we've really been playing. We, as in the collective audience, has been playing Final Fantasy XIV, especially for those that were ready for 14 after 13. Many people didn't like 13. I was one of them. Wasn't a big fan, and I didn't care for the soul sucking that they did with 7, and they started doing with 13. Let's do 3 games, and this, that, the other, and divide all our resources. Instead of making one really great game, let's make 3 mediocre games. And we see them make that mistake time and time again. So I was very excited for 14, and then when 14 hit, it was a hit to the gut. So
it's not amazing.
Not amazing.
But I played it the whole way through.
Yeah.
I don't think even when like they made you subscribe, I played that game every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a commitment, and that legacy price.
But I also fell into a group of people that also played it every day.
Yeah.
So I think that helped a lot.
Find your
right?
people.
We kind of made our own fun.
Yep. Got to do that. You got to make your own fun, and so it was cool back then. I think the reps were looking to make their own fun by connecting with the audience and stuff. And again, they still do a good job. I mean, obviously, you've got the creator spotlight that they do on.
No, they still do an amazing.
They
job.
do an amazing job of connecting with people. I think it's what's awesome. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy music. Obviously, I've got the EP3 that came out just the other day, and I think it's hilarious and awesome that Square Enix, the Twitter account and the Final Fantasy Twitter account, they've been blowing up Alex Moaka and Husky by the Geek, just constantly like showcasing their stuff. And then again, on the same note, when Soken reaches out to them, because Soken's birthday, I think, was the other day. Happy birthday, Soken. And he reached out to them about putting a funky beat on something. And they all obliged and did it. I think the Square Enix account had said, what game would you like to, or what Final Fantasy track would you like to hear Alex Moaka funk up next? And I think it was Dancing Mad was chosen, so he laid a bass track to that. And then they did a side-by-side where he did the bass track and he was on the left, and then he grayed out, and on the right, Husky by the Geek appears into the guitar track and the electric guitar, and it's just amazing stuff. I'm not saying any of that stuff from the 1.0 days are lost. I think they're even reaching a wider net. It's not just podcasters and people who make not blogs but wikis and databases. It's the musicians and artists, and I think that creative spotlight that they do on the show is fantastic. They need to keep that up, and I think that's a wonderful thing to get the entire Final Fantasy community, especially those artists and content creators, to feel like they're under one umbrella. They feel like they're getting reached out by the reps. For sure. All right, I think that's about it for the news. I've got a happy hour. I was reached out to on Twitter by Rud Rose, who tweets, Yelta, longtime follower. If you and Ruby would give that a listen, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Been following the show since Stormblood. Keep up the good work. And it's a YouTube video, why Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers is disappointing. I gave this a listen, and I think we will we'll talk about this maybe next time. I'd like to organize my thoughts a little more, but I enjoyed the video.
I've just shared it with Ruby.
Yeah. So
it would be.
I'm seeing it here, and I see it's a 32-minute long video. So I'm gonna have to watch that myself and really dive in. But I think this would be a good topic to talk about next time.
Yeah, there's some good points in there. Some that you and I have even commented on. So thank you so much, Red Rose, for sending us that link, and thanks for listening. All right, then I think it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, www.gtffxiv.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment, and if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button. You can find us on Twitter at GTFFXIV. Email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us. Ruby, personal plug.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter. That's at Rubicon Vale, RubiconVale.
And you can find me on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YeltaSumasu. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.